Walking into the Monday morning staff meeting, I never expected to see the face that had haunted my high school nightmares sitting at the conference table. Bryce Kellerman, the guy who used to shove me into lockers and steal my lunch money, was now wearing a cheap suit and introducing himself as our new junior marketing assistant. 15 years later, the tables had completely turned. But what happened next taught both of us lessons we'd never forget. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you are listening in the comments. The fluorescent lights of the conference room cast harsh shadows across familiar features that had aged poorly. Bryce's once athletic frame had softened around the middle, his hairline had retreated significantly, and his cocky smirk had been replaced by something that looked almost like desperation. "Everyone, I'd like you to meet Bryce Kellerman," announced Sarah, our HR director. "He'll be joining the marketing team as a junior assistant. Bryce, why don't you tell us about yourself?" I gripped my coffee mug tighter as Bryce stood, clearing his throat nervously. Gone was the confident swagger that had terrorized freshman year. This was a man who needed this job. "Thanks, Sarah. I'm excited to be here at Morrison Dynamics. I have a degree in communications from State, and I've been looking for an opportunity to break into corporate marketing." His voice carried none of the authority it once held in high school hallways. I studied his face, waiting for recognition to dawn. Surely he'd remember Ethan Pierce, the kid he'd tormented for 2 solid years before I transferred schools, but his eyes swept past me without a flicker of acknowledgement. "Bryce will be working under our marketing director. Ethan, would you mind introducing yourself?" This was the moment. I stood slowly, watching Bryce's expression transform from professional politeness to shock, then quickly masked fear. "Welcome to Morrison Dynamics, Bryce. I'm Ethan Pierce, marketing director. I look forward to working with you." His handshake was limp, clammy. "Ethan Pierce?" He repeated my name like he was trying to convince himself this really wasn't happening. "Oh, do you two know each other?" Sarah asked brightly. "We went to high school together, Lincoln High, class of 2009. Isn't that right, Bryce?" Bryce nodded mutely, his face pale under the fluorescent lighting. After the meeting dispersed, I cornered Bryce near the elevators. Away from witnesses, his nervous energy was almost palpable. "So," I said casually, "Lincoln High, good times." "Listen, Ethan," he started. "It's Mr. Pierce in the office. We should probably maintain professional boundaries, don't you think?" He swallowed hard. "Mr. Pierce. About high school, I was young, stupid. If I ever did anything—" "Did anything?" I raised an eyebrow. "You mean like giving me a black eye the day before homecoming, or flushing my chemistry notes down the toilet, or that time you convinced Jennifer Martinez I had some kind of contagious rash?" Each reminder hit him like a physical blow. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm really sorry." "Sorry doesn't give me back my lunch money, Bryce. But lucky for you, I'm a professional. Welcome to the team."
The next few weeks revealed just how dramatically our situations had reversed. Bryce arrived early, stayed late, and approached every task with the desperate energy of someone who couldn't afford to lose another job. His resume, I discovered through discreet HR inquiries, showed a pattern of short-term positions and unexplained gaps. Meanwhile, my success spoke for itself. At 33, I was the youngest marketing director in company history, running campaigns for Fortune 500 clients from the corner office I'd earned through 15 years of proving that intelligence beats intimidation. I assigned Bryce to work on the Henderson Industries account, a project I knew he wasn't qualified to handle. When he inevitably struggled, I stepped in with gentle guidance that felt patronizing enough to drive home the power dynamic. "Bryce, let's review your presentation draft." I called him into my office on Friday afternoon. He sat across from my desk like a student called to the principal's office. "The concept is interesting," I began, but the execution needs work. The client demographic analysis is superficial, the budget projections don't account for seasonal variations, and frankly, the creative approach feels like something from 2010. His jaw tightened. For just a moment, I saw the flash of the old Bryce, the one who solved problems with his fists. But that person couldn't help him here. "I can work on it over the weekend," he offered. "That won't be necessary. I'll handle the Henderson presentation myself. Maybe you can observe and learn." The humiliation in his eyes was exquisite. This was what helplessness felt like, the same emotion he'd forced me to experience every day of sophomore year. "Is there anything else I can do to improve?" he asked quietly. I leaned back in my chair, savoring the moment. "Well, since you asked, your communication skills need development, your strategic thinking is underdeveloped, and your understanding of modern marketing principles is about 5 years behind industry standards." Each criticism was accurate, but delivered with surgical precision to maximize impact. I was destroying his confidence, the same way he'd once destroyed mine, but with professional efficiency instead of physical violence. "I see." He stood slowly. "I'll work on those areas." "Excellent. Have a good weekend, Bryce." After he left, I felt the satisfaction I hadn't experienced since high school. Finally, Bryce Kellerman knew what it felt like to be powerless. Monday morning brought an unexpected development. Sarah from HR had knocked on my office door with a concerned expression. "Ethan, I need to discuss Bryce Kellerman's performance with you." "Of course, what's the concern?" "His productivity has been excellent, but I've received some feedback about management style in your department." My stomach tightened. What kind of feedback? "Nothing specific, just general observations about workplace atmosphere. I want to make sure we're maintaining a positive environment for all employees." After Sarah left, I found myself reviewing my behavior over the past month. Had I been too obvious? Too cruel? The last thing I needed was an HR investigation into my management methods. That afternoon, I observed Bryce working at his desk. His cheap suit was wrinkled, his shoulders slumped with defeat. Other employees gave him a wide berth, sensing the tension that surrounded anyone associated with my obvious displeasure. Something about his posture triggered an unexpected memory. Sophomore year, after the homecoming incident, I'd sat exactly like that in the cafeteria, alone, defeated, wondering what I'd done to deserve such treatment. The parallel was uncomfortably clear. "Bryce," I called. "My office." He entered with the resigned expression of someone expecting another professional execution. "Close the door and sit down." He complied silently. "I've been thinking about your performance," I began, "and I've realized something important." Hope flickered in his eyes. 15 years ago, you made my life miserable because you could. You had power, and you used it to hurt someone weaker than you." I leaned forward. "Do you know what that makes me, if I do the same thing to you now?" He stared at me, understanding dawning. "It makes me you, and I spent too many years becoming someone better than that to throw it away for revenge." Bryce's voice was barely a whisper. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying you're talented, Bryce. Your Henderson presentation had good bones. It just needed experienced guidance instead of professional sabotage. You're here because you earned this position, not because I'm feeling charitable." I pulled out his original presentation draft. "Let's work on this together.
Really work on it. Not as former classmates with bad history, but as professionals who both want to succeed. For the next 2 hours, we rebuilt his presentation from the ground up. I shared strategies I'd learned through years of trial and error, explained client psychology, demonstrated market analysis techniques. Bryce absorbed everything with the intensity of someone who'd been drowning and finally found a lifeline. "Why are you helping me?" he asked as we finished. "Because 15 years ago, I learned that being powerful doesn't mean hurting people who can't fight back. It means lifting people up, even when they probably don't deserve it." Bryce presented to Henderson Industries the following week. His presentation was professional, insightful, and effective. The client signed a 3-year contract extension. At the celebration dinner, Bryce raised his glass. "I want to thank my manager, Ethan Pierce, for believing in potential instead of dwelling on the past." Later, as we walked to the parking garage, Bryce stopped me. "Ethan, I need you to know, high school me was a coward who hurt people because I was afraid of being hurt first. I'm not that person anymore, but I understand if you can't forgive what I did." Forgiveness isn't about what you deserve, Bryce. It's about who I choose to be. 6 months later, Bryce earned a promotion to Senior Marketing Associate. He worked harder than anyone, stayed humble, and never forgot the lesson about power and responsibility. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying your enemies, it's helping them become better people than they ever thought possible.
Have you ever had the chance to get revenge on someone who hurt you in the past? How did you handle it? And what did you learn about yourself in the process? If stories of choosing growth over revenge inspire you, subscribe to Hidden Hearth for more tales of second chances and personal transformation. Like this video and share your thoughts about forgiveness in the comments below.